So awesome. So as you talk about in this session, we're just gonna talk about what is about to happen, and we can do some trades, play some trades, so kind of get ready, yeah, for what's about to happen. So whenever you join the training and stuff like that, you can see no matter where you are, we've been talking about this for quite a long time. Even in February, in January, in October time, we kind of talk about this quite a long time that something is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know whether Ukraine is going to happen. We don't know whether Brazil is going to happen. We don't know whether Iran is going to happen. But we know that using our ASAP trading strategy, usually March is where things is going to happen. And we usually recommend students to do something at least by the end of March. Okay, by the end of March. And by looking at 2022, the midterm crisis, I personally think the bigger thing that's going to happen is it's going to be a midterm election. That's usually the bigger thing. All of this, I think, is just small matter. It's not really huge, even though maybe if they stop the oil for a very very long time, maybe inflation will go up again and stuff like that. But it's a very very small reversible pattern. Okay, this is all man-made, so it's very reversible. So, and if countries really want to do something, they all have a reserve of their oil. They can all just release the reserve of their oil just like that. Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen. And usually, as you can see, using our 8-step trading strategy, you kind of learn quite a lot. So to get good at this is really about being patient and being disciplined, still waiting for the really best time to come. Okay. Now you can see with our the highest price is 7,000, and usually market will normally correct itself when we reach around 10%, 12%. That's where the first, usually historically every year we will have at least 10% kind of happen, and that's usually market will go back up again. Okay, so that's the first part. So we want to add a little position there, but because this time there is some wars and things like that involved, so we were gonna give a little bit room for breather. So probably this time is gonna be like but when it comes to dropping 18% or 20%, that's where we will be using some leverage. Okay, leverage is quite nice because you get to multiply your money just quite nicely as well. But it's not compulsory, but it's just nice. You can start with very small amount, like £250. You can build it up nicely. You see a lot of students screaming with profits because of the right timing that they are on. Okay, because when they met me, they study for 6 months, and then suddenly it just so happened that extreme fear happened, and then they make use of it just like that. While other people, they only join my training after extreme fear, after we have seen extreme fear. So they kind of have to wait for a bit. But yeah, this is it. So now the first support line, as you can see, that we are looking for is kind of this support line. This is the same support as in 10th of September. So that means buying it right now in March, you are having exactly the same situation as people who bought in September time, 6 months ago. Okay. So that's kind of an okay, realistic kind of discount. So it's more about the all-time high. So if you look at the 7 to 6.5, so 5 divided by 7, 5 divided by 7 is around 7% crash. If it comes down here, adding a little bit of your money, 10% of your money into VUAA is actually not a too bad thing to do. So I'm just going to put it here. This is going to be 7,526. Okay. So I would say that this is the same price as people will win 10th of October or 10th of September. So same price as 10th of September. Or you can just go to your chart and look at around 10% to 7% crash a little bit there. And once you saw that, you can put around 10% of your money in. So no matter what that is, it can be £100, can be £200, whatever that is, £1,000, £10,000, whatever that is, 10% of your money in just around there. So this is a little bit of a crash in. What would you buy? You will be buying things like VUAG because pound is a little bit too high. Even though there might be a pullback on the pound, if you look at pound a little bit, there might be a pullback on the pound till April. So let's see. So GBP. So you can see our pound is going down really nicely in February time. Lots of students shorted that. So now it's March time. There might be a pullback till April. Then only pound is going to come down. But our pound is still quite high anyway. So that's kind of a caveat. That's kind of like you just have to take it. Yeah. So hence we add a little bit as we just add a little bit. So when the pound comes really, really high up, if it did came all the way back up to our support line, I will personally be shorting that again. Okay. Personally be shorting GBP again. So right now pound is here. Let me just show you. So right now it's going up, coming down. So since February, using our seasonality, it's been coming down. Can you see end of 28th of January, 28th of January, following
Yeah.
our strategy, it's been going really, really nicely, like a magic show. Yeah. So now, having done that, the next step the next step that we're gonna do after this magic show, you can see usually it's gonna pull back. Okay, so usually it's gonna pull back to the same magic show that we just seen, maybe half of it before it come back down really nicely because we're the resistance anyway. So usually a pullback is usual before you come back down. So there's a pullback potentially. Okay, not a guarantee, but potentially. Okay, there might be a pullback kind of going on and looking to exchange our pound into US dollar a lot more in probably May time. Okay, around May time. So usually there will be a midterm election. There will be a really nice time to kind of get in and go all in. So you want to write it down. You kind of want to go all in by June already. Yeah, by all in by June. You don't really want to have any powder by June.
So Raven, if I put say 10% into VUAG
Yeah.
in the next few weeks, do I just leave that in there even when the pound rises back up, or
Yeah,
do
that way you will continue. You wouldn't do anything on that. Yeah, that would you would just continue. If you bought it already, you would just hold it
I just
just like
hold
that.
it?
Yeah. It wouldn't be the next few weeks, it would just be in a few in a few days from now. Yeah, it wouldn't be the next few weeks. I don't think so. It will be the next few weeks. What maybe next few weeks? Okay. Yeah, so that's the first step. Okay, that is when it doesn't crash so much that because there's a small crash. If you remember when the market crashed 10% as well, which is around this level, this is around 7%. If it crash around 10% as well, we will get into individual stocks. Okay, the
Yeah.
baby stocks that we look at, your Robinhood, your Palantir, your Lumentum, your Micron, your Taiwan Semiconductor, your Nvidia, your a lot of these beautiful stocks, the 10 baby stocks, that's where we will get them in as well. Okay. So with that but for that to happen, we kind of need the stocks to kind of drop a little bit more. Otherwise, you will see that things is gonna drop a lot more. For example, Tesla went down 3% today. That's insane. It gets to 384 now. It used to hover around 4,000. Okay. It will be a good price to buy at 4,000. It's coming down, it's breaking down. Elon Musk bought 10 billion pound on the open market. On here, there's a big spike on the September time last year. He bought a big time and it went out, and then eventually now we are same price as almost where he bought. He bought at 3800, 363800. Yeah. So adding a little bit of position on Tesla at 36, 10% of your money at Tesla on 36 is not the worst idea in the entire world. Okay, 360. Yeah. And when it comes to elite later on, it's like a magic. It's just about clicking the button when it comes. Okay, it's not about any doing anything anymore. It's about clicking a button. Because I will show you what happened last year. You might not aim the bottom really carefully. You might not be the perfect bottom. It's like, for example, here, this is like April last year for Tesla. April last year, you might not be at the bottom carefully, and you might be on the top a little bit here, opening inside the cross on for 28th of April, and stuff like that. You might be a little bit off. You might bought here. Let's say if you pretend if you bought just right here, it doesn't really matter because eventually it did go back. As long as you go back higher than where you bought, you are quite okay. But it's just that you're gonna, as you said before, in the beginning of the year, last year is the time where you wish you bought. This year is a time where you bought, you so scared, you will be like, wow, is it gonna keep going down? Is it gonna keep going down? Okay, because this year midterm election, it looks like a bear market. It looks like the world is gonna crumble. That's usually what happened in the midterm election. I've seen this so many years. It's almost the same situation. Yeah. So it's a balance between it's a different psychology. You get last year is a psychology you wish you bought. When can I buy and stuff like that. This year is like, wow, is it gonna keep going down? And if I buy, what if I lose money and stuff like that? But you need to remember, if you're using normal account that we talk about the share dealing account, eventually you're gonna make back the money. It's just a matter of time. So if you are really, really scared, you cannot bear to see the red, just don't look at it. Don't even look at the numbers because numbers are very emotional when you look at it.
No,
Okay?
it's that I don't mind. I don't mind. I used to like hold some funds for a long time, and I was holding. I was just dollar cost averaging even during like COVID, and I saw them drop massively, and it everything was red for months and months, and then eventually it came back up, and yeah. So yeah, I can hold back. I know it will come back.
Well done, well done.
I've
You can
seen it,
feel it
but
already. Yeah, you
I'm just
have
going to shut the window
experience.
very quickly, Raven. 1 second. Sorry, I can
Yeah,
hear
sure.
everybody outside. Okay, Raven. I was just going to ask you as well. I
Ask
noticed.
me.
Sorry, I noticed you were saying when we see 10% drop from the US 500, is that what I'm is that always what I'm going to be checking against? So I won't be going off the VUAG price. I'll be going off the 10% from the US
You can
500.
go to VUAG price as well. That will be even more beautiful. Let me just go to VUAG price.
Is that theirs is slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is
it's slightly different, but it's still we will still use the 10% boundary. Yeah, it's slightly different. For
okay, so
example, the
I can
maximum
look
is
at both.
10K. 10% would just be 9. So 9 would just be around, yeah, would just be around there. Okay, that would be a 9. But we can't be precisely 10, 9%, so it's around 7, 8 as well. Let me tell you my signal, all right? All of this is just ballparking and stuff like that. I will tell you the signal, okay? The real signal, very good question. The real signal is this. We've done this before, but I want to show you. The real signal is when we see the volume spike. Okay. So every single time, whenever the volume spike, you will see that actually it's a really good time to buy. Can you see there's a volume spike here? Yeah. Let me show you SP 500. When you see the volume spike on the things that you want to buy, usually it's the time to get in. Okay. Like for example, let me show you a little bit. So there's a volume spike here in April time. Yeah. There's a volume spike, the bottom here, volume spike another bottom here, a little bit of the volume spike. Here, volume was the highest, and all of that, the volume was spiking big time. Can you see the bottom of the here? Volume was spiking. So right now you see we actually don't have a volume spike yet. So it might pull back a little bit. You might get for be fear, FOMO, a little bit and stuff like that. But it's not really a volume spike yet. Our volume are not the highest yet. Okay, the volume are still quite low. So that's what I'm looking for. The volume spike. Oh, what is the number of volume I'm looking for? I would say 3 million, 2.8. Okay, more than 2.8 million on IG. That will be really good. Okay, this will be some signals on your side. Okay, so rather than just ballparking and stuff like that, that's where it give us a lot of signal. And the second one, we want the VIX. Okay, the VIX has to go above around 30 to 35. So I would say when it is above 30, you can add some position a little bit bits by bits. So let me show you. The VIX is around 27 now, probably potentially 26. So let me show you what it meant. VIX is how panicking people are. So the last April that we have, VIX actually reached all the way to 36, okay, 35. But we don't want to be like ballparking, we don't be so like unstoppable like that. So even it's 30, it will be good. So look at last time. If you miss the October, you remember October, there's one extreme fear, very temporary one. Yeah. The
Mhm.
VIX just reaches around 24, 25. Okay. That's a very, very small one. And then there's another one here, it's just in November, also a very temporary one. Buying a little bit of VUAG is fine there, and then you sell the top a little bit there. That's fine. Now we are at around 28. That this is not the end of the world. Um, at this time, buying some other things is fine. I personally think crypto could be good. Yeah, if you watch the video, I'm not so sure if I send you the video about crypto. But yeah, buying a little bit of crypto, which is we're gonna do today's as well, is can be quite good because usually at this situation, look on SP 500 last year, yeah, you will see that things are dropping big time in April. Can you see in here, February, March continues to drop like a rocket till 7th of April. But some stocks kind of already found their bottom in March. I will show you. Like Tesla, for example. So rather than bottom of 7th of April, it continues to go down. Let me show you. Yeah. Can you see it kind of bottom at 10th of April, 10th of March. It never really comes down anymore. 7th of April was like it never really keeps going down like S&P 500. Okay. Some stocks are quite stable at that time. Let's see how Meta does at that time. So Meta was continue crashing it down, I think. Yep, 7th of April, it continues to crash down. There's no really a bottom. What about Bitcoin? Let's see if Bitcoin continue to crash down at that times as well. So there's April. So April, Bitcoin was almost bottoming. You can see 28th of February, Bitcoin never really goes down even lower. Okay. You might see, oh, it goes down lower here, but it's the same. You buy here is the same as you bought in 11th of March, you bought at 6th of April. If you bought Bitcoin then, 7 would have gone to 130120. So you have double your money just like that. No using leverage, no using nothing. But if you do Ethereum, you double even more. You do some smaller one, you double even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see some stuff already kind of like bottom. So we don't have to wait till that time because you will see some things already bottom, especially the one that's being pressure big time. Let me look at some other ones that is really high growth. So look at which one has already started to bottom a little bit. So last year,
How do you guess like, or how do you work out the bottom? Is it just based on the previous history of the stock?
yes, you can look at the previous history of the stocks to look at the last April. Do they bottom or do they keep going down lower and lower? Okay. Like Tesla, for example, you saw that. So if they stop going down, that means that today the market is red 1%. If your stock is green today, your stock have quite bottom already. Okay. If the markets are dropped 5%, 1%, then your stock is green. Wow. That means your stock is actually quite a good stock. Yeah. Like for example, PayPal was continue to crash down as well, 7th of April. So that's not a good buy then. Yeah, so there are some stocks that it doesn't really gone down so much anymore. So that is like for example, this guy doesn't really gone down so much. Credo, for example. Look, Credo 27th of January is already started to drop. Even, yeah, 27th of January it started to drop last year. However, S&P 500 dropped when? Last year. When? End of February. Yeah? If you remember, end of February. So this guy kind of already started to drop in like February a little bit here. So usually people will bottom when they already drop. Like Bitcoin already dropped. Tesla was already dropping before S&P 500 dropped. Cradle was already dropping before S&P 500 dropped. So usually when they already kind of drop, they kind of like no longer can drop. Not we don't have a lot of sellers there anymore. So there's a big volume spike here. So Cradle was kind of already bottom on the 6th of March last year. Some students already add on here. So you gone up and it went down even lower. That's fine. It's just a little bit lower and eventually you go back up again. So there are something that is kind of already bottom. Okay. So how do you know? You wait for the big volume spike. If there's a volume spike is already there, then you are quite okay. Okay. So that's for Cradle. So we have a volume spike for Cradle here already. So if you have a pending order, which I recommend you to do, if you have a pending order to buy Cradle at this volume spike or even a little bit lower than that, it's not the end of the world. Okay. So I'm gonna write that down. When is the best time to buy Cradle for you right now? If you look at it carefully, a good position to add around 10% of your Cradle at around 8 is not the end of the world.
Okay, so good, right.
So let me see what's my pending order for crypto.
It seems to be from the guidance I've looked at, seems to be one of the best when market.
Exactly. If you found something that is one of the best, like it keeps getting bigger and bigger and better, there's just no brainer. Yeah. That's just not a bad brainer. Yeah, it's around 8. A lot of mine is around 8 as well. Or what if you can? There's a chance in my bottom already. Okay, because there's a big spike here, so there's a chance in my bottom already. There was a chance it might not come down. So even doing it a little bit, just around 9.3 and stuff like that, is not the end of the world. Or when can I decide when to do it and stuff like that? How do you decide when to go in and stuff like that? Same thing, the signal, okay? The VIX, the volume spike for SP 500 in that situation, because when SP 500 went down, it went down. Like Cradle went up 0.7%. S&P 500 went down 1.2% today. Yeah. And what else? And also the open insiders as well. But that's gonna take some time for you to cross. You will see every 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. just like that. Sorry, 3 a.m. midnight, usually it will shows you. And what is really, really helpful to know whether the bottom is actually in. Yeah, it's also put and call ratio. Hopefully they update quickly. Yeah, put and call ratios as well at the resistance line. That will be a great signals as well. And another really good signal is when the worst news happen. Like you never believe this is gonna happen, and if it happens, this is it. We click our button straight away. Like on the weekend, the reason for the drop for this for today is actually they decided to bomb oil. We never think they're gonna bomb oil because we just thought they're gonna bomb like Warcrafts and like all these rockets and stuff. But now they're bombing oil. So oil is sparking big time. They're bombing Iran oil. So it's crazy. So maybe the next part, crazy stuff is gonna happen. So when you see wow, nuclear war, they actually have nuclear war, whatever that is actually the bottom when you see the worst news. Yeah. So that's kind of what happened then. And don't be afraid. Let me tell you what happened. Yeah. When you see a very bad news happen, people usually will be like, oh, what if it continues to go down, and stuff like that. Or let me just adjust my stop loss. Let me just adjust my pending order if it goes down even more. Mm, if it goes up even more, and let me just adjust it a little bit here and there. Normally, when you feel like adjusting, usually that's a time is usually quite a good time to get in. Yeah, it's weird, but that's kind of what happened. So that's what happened to Kratos as well. Robinhood's as well. It's also quite nice. Robinhood, when market would drop 1%, it's only drop around 0.3%. So do we have a volume spike? Yes, we have a volume spike on Robinhood on the 11th of February as well. Usually when that happens, maybe there is a, let me show you what happened last year for Robinhood. So Robinhood last year, they already bottomed on the 10th of kind of March. Okay. You can see a volume spike of 10th of March. Did you see that? 10th of
Yeah.
March? Yeah,
Yeah.
let me just make it zoom clearer for you. So you might be like 10th of March is kind of already bottom there when we reach extreme fear. Let me show you what happened in extreme fear. Fear and greed index. We kind of reached extreme fear at that time already, macro. Mm-mm-mm. Oops, not that. Let's see year two. Okay, 1 year. Let's see. You can see in March, 3rd of March, a little bit there when extreme fears was around 17. Can you see 6th of March? There are two extreme fears happen. Yeah, first is 6th of March, and then second was around here, 7th of April. So there's another bottom here. But most of the stocks, the good one, kind of bottom on the 4th of March. Okay, we look at Bitcoin, it was bottoming there. Tesla was bottom there. Cradle was kind of bottom there. And Robinhood was also bottoming there as well. Okay, this will go a little bit on detail just for the elite princesses. So yeah, so you can see the bottom here. So yes, oh yeah, I went in and then went there and then come back down. Should I close my profits? I'm in the loss right now. I'm in negative right now. I'm losing money right now. Is this a scam? So so if you hold it and continue, things is gonna go back. So it's the same similar situation here. So we have a volume spike, which is just on here. Where is it? Just on there. So maybe that could be a bottom. So a good time to buy Robinhood if it comes back around 6.8 is not the end of the world. Okay, it's around 7.6 right now. 6.8, around 10% of your position, a little bit here. Or what if it goes down? I'm gonna tell you something. If S&P 500 continues to go down 10% or 5%, it will go down as well. Okay, Robinhood will also go down a little bit there as well. Okay, if it continues to go down, it will go down, but it probably not gonna go down so much compared to SP 500. Look, Robinhood was down 0% today, but S&P 500 was down 1% today. So those things are kind of like strong now. Yes, they are the kind of like a bottom now. All right. So that's what happened for that. Let's get Palantir. Um, Palantir was, you can see, was around here. So, okay, just give me a second. Let me just look at Robinhood a little bit. We talk about Robinhood, a good support. A little bit of a good support would just be there. I would say, yep, just around 6, 8, or even 7 is kind of not the worst. Look. Yep. So mm, that is just okay, around 7. Cool. So that's for Robinhood. What is Robinhood? Robinhood is like a trading 212 account. And yeah, it's like a trading 212 account to kind of where more and more
I
people.
think I've got that as one of my baby stocks as well. I think it's the last guidance was quite good as well.
Yep. In order for you to know whether you want to get in or not, it really depends on the last guidance. You really want to make sure the last guidance is good. So how do we know? Go to our perplexity. Or you can use anything that you like. So just type give me or ChatGPT is fine. So give me the past 12 earning guidance or outlook for Robinhood. Let's look on that. Doo -doo.
I think I checked it
Or
recently.
you can do a manual way. Manual way is even more powerful if you can read the last transcript, how powerful they are. Let's see. So it's around 2.6 in 18 year. It's just the range of 2.6, 2.8. Yeah, so it's still increased 2 point, used to be 2.15, 2.8, now 2.6. That's very, very good. Okay. What about last time? Last time is didn't really give the numbers. So doing manually is better because you get all the numbers. Yeah, now it's not really giving me all the numbers. Now I don't
I
get
think
the
from
numbers.
what I can see, what I did, like year on year for the guidance, it was like 99% increase
Okay.
for
Wow.
revenue.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. So that's for that. And the next one that also looks quite nice as well. That is on our Palantir. Let's have a look. Cool. I think we look at the Palantir, the guidance wasn't too bad. Getting into Palantir, can you see this big spike of volume right there? So getting into Palantir around 12.5 is not, 13, 12.5 is not the end of the world. Yeah, 13 or 12.5.
Would you recommend just like if you say like I've got 10%, maybe doing three kind of market orders, like one at 13, one at sort of in between, and then 12.5?
Yes, that will be even more powerful. That's actually what I'm doing as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So rather than going yeah, so it's a yeah. So it's a balance between because at the end of the day it's about dollar cost averaging, isn't it? So it's just about buying it at the right, at the right beautiful area. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened, especially when we're doing share dealing, just buying at the right area. Yeah. When it crashed more than 15%, 20% from all-time high, our S&P 500, then we will be using some leverage like that because usually there's more likely going to be bottom. The reason we're not using leverage here because if we buy, what if it continues to go down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a tricky part, but better to be in than never for apprentices. Cool. So, and for elite apprentices. So the next one, let me just see for Palantir. So that's just on there. Let me see. So you will see that a lot of the times, a lot of these stocks that we are talking about, when one got hit, chances are everything is going to get hit straight away. Or what do you mean? Because we are kind of doing it almost at the very same time. Because when one goes down, obviously everything is going to go down. And so when one got hit, usually everything is going to get hit at the same times as well. So I'm just going to put my order 1, 3, 4. Actually, I'm going to show you how I do my order. Cool. I'm going to log in and it's going to show you how I do my order. Because I kind of saw a lot of stocks last time. Let me see what platform. When we reach extreme greed kind of later on, and they all kind of already came back down a little bit. Let me see. So just waiting to load. Let's go back. What's the next one? The next one after that will be, yep, our crypto things. So BNMR. So that's for crypto. You can see, let me just share my screen. You can see Bitcoin went up how much? Let's see. Bitcoin went up around 3% today. Strategy went up 3%. Bitmine went up 4%, around 5%. What about Ethereum? Ethereum went up around 3%. So they all went up almost very similar timing. If you haven't owned any Bitcoin already, you can buy Bitcoin when it's below 65. Okay? Below 65. So Bitcoin is around
Dollars.
70 now. Let's see
Is that in
what's
dollars, Raven?
sorry?
Is that in dollars?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
dollars.
65K.
Everything is in dollars. Yeah, we see that. So 65 is not the worst place to buy kind of Bitcoin. Okay, 60 will be the goal. But yeah,
I'm in Coinbase. I think I've got an order for. I've only got £1,000 in there, but I think I've got 500 on Bitcoin at 60,000, and then another 500 on Ethereum at 1,500.
1500 for Ethereum. Ethereum, you probably want to change it to 1.8.
1.8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Yep, Ethereum was just right here. And it's around 2000 now. 1.8 is not the worst situation. Let's see. 15, yeah, 15 will be just 15 will be really nice. If it can come down to 15, let's see. But yeah, 1.8 is on the worst situation. Okay. Just to get things a little bit, since you only got 500, getting in at 1.8 is quite nice. Yeah. You might not get that. You might just keep going higher and higher. Yeah. But yeah, but it's about being patient and wait for it to come to use as well. Yeah. So
So
if you want to
volatile.
do, sorry.
I was going to say it's so volatile. I wouldn't. I kind of would be a bit scared to put too much into Bitcoin, but um, yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit on it for fun.
Exactly, exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Have you done Bitcoin before?
Just in Coinbase, yeah. Just always less than £1,000. I've never put more than that on
That's
it.
really good. Yeah, that's really good. Just a little bit there. Yeah, so volatile. You're right. So volatile, and some people wish to be even more volatile for the stock for the Bitcoin to be even more volatile, so you can move a lot
Yeah.
more. But
I
yeah,
didn't really have I had no strategy before. I just kind of bought it whenever. So yeah, but now we've got a strategy and kind of buy-in points, which I didn't have before. So maybe it wouldn't seem so volatile now when it starts going up.
completely, completely. I get where you come from. Yeah, you get a little bit more confidence now.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's kind of what happens as well. And BNMR is what has got to do with Bitcoins as well. So I mean to do with Ethereum. So strategy buy a lot of Bitcoin and Bitmine just bought a lot of Ethereum. So when usually Ethereum double, Bitmine this one double, usually times two of that as well. So an okay positions to kind of get in is just around 1.7 for this BMNR.
117. Yeah.
Yeah. You can put the money that you want according to what? You can put the money that you want according to, let's see, according to your risk tolerance, okay? To see how you want to do it. But last time, if you have put on Bitcoin, you double your money. If you put in Ethereum, you 2 to 3 times your money. Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what happened there. Okay.
What was
Cool.
the buy-in price for that? Did you
Uh,
say? What was a good point to enter?
and for that is 7.17.
1.7. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let me-
Okay, yeah, cool. So that's based on more on Ethereum, this Bitmine. I don't know, I've
Yeah.
never thought that before.
Okay. So yeah, so BMI is based on Ethereum. So when it goes up, it usually goes up together. And yeah, so just a little bit of portions as well. So you can kind of Now, why do we talk about this suddenly? Because Trump is actually trying to pass an act called Clarity Act or Clarity Act. So he's trying to encourage, it's on his Truth Social, he's trying to encourage people to, he wants the US to be a very crypto hub, okay? He wants people to be pro crypto.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened then. So let's see what's the order that I've got. So for example, this is our portfolio. So some of my portfolio, so one which is one of the smaller accounts. You can see this is 27th of April, 27th of February, it was around 675, the amount. And you can see even though the market is crashing big time, because of how we balance our portfolio, we convert most of the things to pound. It actually went up rather than going down while everyone is crashing big time, 10, 20%. While one of our smaller portfolio, 675, it went to 681. It's still kind of going up because we converted most to US dollar, etc. So when market crash, you don't really have to crash together. Yeah, if you know what you are doing. So I'm trying to do BNMR. Let's do BNMR just to show you how to actually put an order on. Let's see. Do we have an order here? We don't have an order here. So sometimes we'll be like, oh, should we look at the chart? Should we look at whose chart? So the price is now here. Okay, price was just around 17 where you saw that. So I'm gonna put that 17.5. Just a little bit there. Let's see if it works. It was us buy all the time. What is this? Let's see what happened. Hmm, Let's refresh and see what. Yep, okay, click buy. And we're just gonna put a little bit there. It looks very boring. It looks like a normal thing, but it's like that. Trading and investing is supposed to be boring. You just did it and and yeah, you call it the day like that. Nothing kind of super special. Uh, but yeah, it's just like driving a car. You just want to get there. It doesn't really matter whether you have rainbow coming in and stuff like that. So
I do have an interactive brokers account, but I haven't used it too much to be honest.
okay.
So yeah, I've got to. I
Cool.
think
So the next one, we gonna interactive broker is fine. You can use any account that you want. Yeah. So
okay.
the next one that we are looking is so we have done some crypto. I personally think crypto is probably kind of like a little bit of the bottom now. Okay. Let me just show you. So if you go to our IG, you can see which things are kind of doing okay a little bit there. So Australian market, let's see how is Australian doing. Australian is the same price as it was in November. Okay, there's a bit of bottom here. There's a bit of spike of volume. It would be nice to spike even higher volume than that. Let me see. Okay. This Australian market was going up. Why is it going up like this? Coming back down, going up like that. Wow. Okay. So it's from 8 to 9. How much is that? 8 to 9. This is like 7. 7 divided by 92. 7 divided by 92 is around 7%. Same as SP. Same as SP 500. This is Australian market. Okay. Cool. That's what happened to the Australian market. That was going up when the world is going down. Japan was up 1%. I think it's because of the date, Sunday. Yeah, they were down before. Cool. Taiwan was also going down and it started to go up there. Oops. So the bottom was just in February time. Denmark, US. The last time just keep going lower and lower like that. There's a spike of volume there. Okay. Cool. So that is kind of what happened at this moment in time. When it kind of sort of drop a little bit more later on, have we reached extreme fear yet? Probably. We are probably near there. When it's below 15%, 15 of the extreme fear, that you will use a lot more of our dry powder to, yeah, to get in a lot more as well. So let's look at the shares. See how the shares are doing. So we have him, strategy, and Nvidia. Nvidia was already not
was
even.
going to ask you about Astera Labs.
What's that called? Oh, Astero
Astera.
Lab. Nice. Yeah.
Astera, yeah.
So let's have a look. So Astero Lab was also quite nice. And let me look at the guidance.
And the guidance was looking pretty good as well when I read it
Nice.
last.
Let's see. So yeah, so it's around 1517, 200, 24. So it's around 4 as well. 6 to 10. EPS 0.2. Yeah, they look good as well. So Astero Labs as well, when the time kind of comes, a really, really nice price to kind of buy Astero Lab. This is for the drop. A really nice price to buy Astero Lab. Last time was here. There's no really a volume spike. Can you see last time there's no volume spike for Asterella? It doesn't really give you a bottom. So when things like that, maybe the volume doesn't really work so much on this. Let's see, Asterella. Yep, a good time to kind of get into Asterella personally would just be around 9. Yeah, 9 or 8. A little bit there for Asterella, around 9 or 8. That would be quite nice. Duolingo, for example, also down quite a little bit lot. Let's see.
I haven't
It was
updated my
also
guidance
almost at the bottom. Sorry.
for them, so
Yeah, Duolingo was
I haven't updated my.
Duolingo. Okay, that's fine. Duolingo was actually being crashed big time, like the world has never seen before. A really good time to get in is just around, 7.2. Yeah, 7. So that's just a little bit more left for Duolingo, just around 7. And Affirm, let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So do the same for Affirm, same for Affirm and over. So last time we were just going down like that. Volume doesn't really, a little bit of volume, yeah, volume helps here. This is bottom here. And then from 4, it went down to around 3. It went down around 20% more. So right now, we're just waiting for the spike of volume. So to be really nice, it kind of have to be around 3 for this. Yeah, Affirm. That's kind of around 3 because you're waiting for a volume spike. That's where my real confirmation is going to happen. Yeah. So how people book my one-to-one is that every time they book it, if they already book it, I kind of ask them to buy a little bit. So some people book it like last week, they kind of put a little bit last week. If people book next week, they buy a little bit next week. If people book the week after, they
Okay.
buy a little bit week after. So that's kind of what happens. So it depends on when people book it, etc. So when you think it's the right time, you book it. So you just click the button a little bit there. But my real signals is when kind of things kind of like that kind of happen. Yeah. So that's the yeah. So let me see what else. Can you tell me anything else?
Yeah. One second. So, what about Eli Lilly? I think their last guidance was pretty good as
Yep,
well.
Eli was also good, very healthcare. It has to kind of come back a lot more. Let's see. Let's put the volume up. Yep, so that is, let's see, that's kind of the support kind of for Eli. Let me just do the Eli. So Affirm was, let's see how's Affirm doing. Affirm February up from 47. So it was up around 1 billion for Affirm. Hence, we are putting it at a smaller support line because if you look at the quarterly, yeah, it was up from 47 to 48. That's a bit small, but year on year still good. Okay. So I think we will still be interested in them, but it's a bit small. So doing the same for Eli, Lily, um, now let's have a look. So the Eli was around booking 10 to 20%, revenue 15, raise guidance in November, margin 25, booking 11. So we kind of need to know the numbers. Have you got the numbers? Because it doesn't really say the numbers here.
One moment. It is.
Oh, this is Eli. Eli is here. Sorry. 63 to 80, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds
Something
right.
like that. Yeah, raise full year guidance and 58. I kind of need to know the one before as well.
Yeah, um I've got full year revenue guidance plus 33%.
Okay, nice. Give me the past 3 years.
Oh, year on no, sorry, that was the year on year is 37%. I've got.
Let's see if the change is big or not. So it was around 33, 58, 58. Let's see this final guidance 34, 45, 63, 80. If these numbers is right, then it's actually quite nice. Yeah. Final guidance report 63, issued in February 80. Cool. So if that's the number, what's the then really nice time to kind of get into this will just be the support, which is around kind of these kind of levels as well. Volume spike kind of support there. So it's been November, it's gone down like that. So the last time the March, April, bottom for last time April was around. Well, you can see April last time was the same as November. They kind of bottom here for Eli Lilly, and then afterwards August is continuing to come down here. So healthcare is playing their own thing because they might have their own drugs, they might have their own things kind of going on. So for that, look at the
I think they had some sort of lawsuit going on. I think that might have.
nice. So the PE of this is 43 now. Usually the PE was around, okay, it's at quite at the lowest PE that we've seen. This is correct. Yeah, one of the lowest PE. Cool. So if that's the situation, adding a little bit of that Eli, I think we bought a lot at the bottom here. Hmm. Hmm. Eli will still have to wait for it to come back a little bit there, which is just the spike of this volume there, which is around 80. Yeah, it has to come down around 80 there. Because even if we buy here, you make a little bit there, that's still a bit tricky. So it's much better
Okay.
for you to come back down and to come do it. Yeah. Cool, nice. And the next one that if you found it.
I was going to ask about Broadcom. I know you've mentioned that before.
Yeah,
I've got.
Broadcom is really beautiful. We So Broadcom was up 2% today. You can see when the market was down big time. So let's look at Broadcom. Broadcom and AMD. So this is here. and this is that. Yeah. Okay price to kind of add a little bit. So if you buy here 293, sound 30%. Okay price to get to Broadcom will be very similar to Nvidia for this. Yeah, we're just a little bit like 29. Yeah,
Okay.
30 to 29 there. This is the support just right there. Last time when it's the bottom, there's a spike of volume here. Okay, so we're just waiting for the spike of volume. Otherwise, the rest are just quite fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
here there's a spike of volume a little bit. We can go in a little bit, but this is a proper kind of spike of volume. Now, there are some kind of like this is 4 million. How many million? This is 45 million. Last time the spike of volume was around so 60 million. This is 30 million. This is 30 million. This is 40 million. This is a sell volume. This is a little bit of buy, a little bit of a buy. So now we are around almost there. Okay. Yeah, just around 30. It's not the worst thing ever. Broadcom buy at 30 and Nvidia, so very similar. The support for kind of Nvidia. Let me look at Broadcom for a bit. Let's do Broadcom. Uh, Broadcom. Probably have it already. Yeah, we do around 30 as well. Yeah, it's around 3,300. There's a 30 if it comes down. Just get triggered. Don't be scared because when you get triggered, you'll be like, oh, what if it continues to come down? Just fine.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
add more if it comes down even more. We don't have to time the bottom, even though we teach you a strategy to really know how to time the bottom. But when it comes to doing it, perfectionist is gonna kill everything than anything. Yeah, no need to be perfect. You perfect, you overthink it. Oh, let me cancel my orders, cancel my shit. And eventually you just wish you bought a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
Nvidia. Did we do Nvidia? Let's see.
Yeah, I've got a couple of others, like Micron, Rambus, AMD, SanDisk, and Iron.
Nice. Those are really nice. So let's try to do this Nvidia a little bit first. Nvidia, just 1.6. The same. Look at the vol. Okay. The thing is, if Nvidia comes down, the whole thing, Shiba Bong, is gonna come down 163. So let's just do a little bit for 163 first. Do good till cancel, otherwise you're gonna get killed quite easily. Cool. The next one, AMD. Yep, which is to do with AI. AI kind of have to pop a little bit for things to be kind of worth. So this has been coming down massively. Now we are here. So the support will just be around there, 165 support for this. Yeah, let's do a little bit 165. 165. It's good to cancel there. Cool. Just do a little bit. And what else have you got?
SanDisk. I haven't done the guidance on SanDisk yet though, but I know.
So this is fine. There's another one called hymns and hymns and hymns and hymns. I think it's also 30%. Try to check, have a look if it is 30%. If it
I
is,
think it's on my to-do list actually, hymns and hers to read.
yeah. So if
Reach
it
my
is
MS. Yeah.
30, doing it at 17 is not a bad idea. Yeah. Cool. So that's there. And anything else?
Um, iron,
Oh yeah,
iron.
iron should go up big time. Okay, we're now a little bit there. So there's a support. We're still waiting for a really nice support to come in. Iron will still have to wait for it to crash a little bit more,
Okay.
just because just because let me see, can this be the bottom? The last time iron was the bottom when we have a spike of the volume there. Let's see when it's iron bottom. There's a spike here, 25th. So we went to 8, then it went to around 8 to 5. It went up again. Okay. So yeah, still a little bit kind of to be for someone to do it, you kind of have to come to around 22. Yeah, just a little bit left.
Okay.
Yeah, for it to come down for kind of iron. Would it be the bottom here? Okay, let me think. Look, for iron to go down more than where it is right now, iron has a lot to do with Bitcoins as well and AI. So if we actually think iron is going to come down to such a low level, that means your AMD, your Nvidia, a lot of that might come down a little bit. So we're adding a little bit of portion just in case it didn't. But if your Broadcom get triggers, if your Nvidia get triggered, if a lot of your things kind of get triggered that we talked about just now, it's very similar to irons as well. So
Okay.
it's not the worst idea to do a pending order at how is iron? Don't give me the past 8 earning recent.
I really struggled with Iron's guidance because it seemed to be like missing. I couldn't find like the Q4 or um,
Oh yeah,
I struggled to kind of put it all together like I do with the other stocks.
cool. Have we done it together? Let me see.
I think we covered it in one of the and I think yeah, it was. I can't remember if they. I can't remember what you said at the time. It was a couple of weeks ago now.
Let's see. I think okay, let's see. Two. Where, do we talk about where's the guidance? Is it on the transcript or is it somewhere else? You don't know. Or is it on the press release? Not
Yeah,
sure.
that's. I think yeah, we couldn't find the guidance, and then I mean, I've got some of the guidance, but I couldn't find. I couldn't find like Q4 guidance for some reason. It just showed me Q1, 2, and 3.
Mm, okay.
And
Yeah,
I've got that
even
from yeah,
yeah,
that was just on the invest.
even here they didn't really give us the guidance as well. Yep, they didn't really give us the guidance. Let me see. Earnings,
Okay,
highlight, real asset competitive, three, execution,
is it
custom.
because they've changed? They've kind of changed what they do a little bit, aren't they? They
Yeah,
from
they did.
the
Yeah,
crypto stuff.
yeah. From crypto to AI. Yeah. I remember we did this before, but I can't remember where's the guidance. Where did you find the guidance again?
Just on the, I've just got it linked. Give me a second.
Is it on Transcript or is it on Outlook? Is it on Transcript or is it on press release?
Let me have a quick look. I've got the got it here. I think yeah, I've got it on the events and presentation section.
Which is what we are looking at, I think.
Yeah, looks like it.
Percentage.
Um,
On track for CY. Demand is not constrained. Focus on building. Maybe just this 3 trail 3.4 in CY 26. Yeah, for this we just have to give it a little bit more space. It has to crash a little bit more. Yeah, because it
right,
went up so much.
okay.
Cool. So that's kind of what happened. Let me see. Yeah, we have Occidental Petroleums as well. So what if the oil doesn't go up anymore? Is it a good time, to buy and things like that? Because Warren Buffett bought at the average price of around 53, 52. So it's not a worst case situation to own a little bit of this. Let me see. So you're right. If the war happens, usually oil prices will come down massively. And I have plotted side by side. Okay, I've been doing for so long. Plotted side by side to see if oil goes up, does Occidental Petroleum goes up immediately? And if oil comes down, does Occidental Petroleum comes down immediately as well? The answer is actually almost yes. If it goes up, Occidental usually go up, but if oil comes down, Occidental Petroleum delay 1 to 2 months before it start coming back down. Where do we think is a realistic target for this oil? Kind of here. The target is kind of here. So that's just a little bit there for students who haven't owned it. Buying it around at 52 is not the worst idea. Okay, buying around 52 this year probably is gonna be a lot of oil and shits going on. And yeah. Or can we short oil? Um, it's a bit dangerous spot. If you short oil, you have to be willing to lose money. And it's okay to short oil at, let me see. So you can see, for example, you spike up big time when the market's open. From 10, you went to around 11 with big time. And then after that, it decided to come down. Let's see the volume a little bit.
So you have to just go off the volume with that, and you have to watch it closely, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's just a bit
Yeah.
layer tricky on that. So there's a volume a little bit there, and then it came back down, and then just like that. So volume doesn't really works nicely, but in order for me to short it, for me personally, my pending order, you can see there's a one pending order here, just at 14. The history, the highest 2008, the history. If it is anything at the bottom, I don't really care and such like that. And what if it goes to 16? It goes to 16. It never really goes to 16 in the past 20 years. Even 14 will be like crazy already. There's 140 US dollar per barrel. Okay, that's kind of what happened. The lowest it's ever gone is probably zero per barrel. And at Corona time, lots of students were doing that as well. But yeah, I'm really interested when it comes to the resistance line and then LW position here. And they will be using IG. I can't find any other platform that's better to short. On IG, if you really want to short it, you want to make sure it is on the future side. There's a future side. They don't charge you daily charges like that. So you can
Okay.
short it to April or you short it to May. But we're probably gonna start shorting it in like in May, okay? In May and April when things settle down a little bit, when crazy things happen again. Probably we'll get there's where election happens as well. Usually when oil comes down, S&P 500 is gonna go up. Okay, so both are very similar.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it for now. And hope you learned something new. How do you feel about them? How do you feel about the whole thing? Yeah.
Yeah, good, good. So, pretty, yeah, just ready to do some, put some trades on. I just got to, I know you said like put 10% on some of these stocks. Am I putting 10% on every one of these individual
So I
stocks?
recommend you to not use more than like 30% of your total powder that you have.
Okay, so use like 30, so leave 70% for
Yeah.
if a
For
big
for
crash
for, for
comes.
better extreme fear because we haven't actually reached extreme fear yet. The thing is when we reach your fear and greed, and a lot of this you can double check with like seasons as well. Let me just show you.
Mhm.
Let me show you. Like for example, if I show you crypto season, like Bitcoin, for example, if it comes up. Hmm. It's on my website. It's not on here. Yeah, it's not only on here. Let's get coin season images. Let me read this. So this is kind of okay. March, April, June. Okay. So if you look at seasons of certain things like Cradle, for example. Whatever you want to buy, and make sure you look at the seasons as well. Cradle is not there. More Palantir. Yeah, Palantir, you can see there's a seasons as well. So you can see usually Palantir started to like do really well end of April. So each of these individual stocks, they have their own thing. So you can see last year what happened to Palantir. Let's see. Says May is a good time to buy, but let's click on it and see kind of what happened. Palantir last time. So you went okay, when by the time it's May, it's already gone up. What about the year before? Yeah, the year before was quite nice for May. What about the year before as well? This is 2023. This is May, which is yep, so around here, the bottom a little bit in May. Can you see 5th of May 2023, and then you went up big time. Let's see what it went the year before. Yep, there's a May there as well. So each of these stocks also have some season. So you add some positions just based on dollar cost averaging, just based on those kind of seasons as well. So if we think, for example, like another one that I want to look at is Duolingo. Probably they won't have it. Or hymns. Let's see. So Duolingo is not. Because these companies are too new, too small, so they might not have it here. So hymns, you can see actually these are all fake out and real thing happened in April. So if you go back, you do back test. So you type hymns and you back test it. You can see, is it always April where things started to go up? So this is in April 23rd, like that. 22nd, you went up. And then you go to last time. Yep, it was around April 26, April, bottom, May, bottom, last time. April, a little bit of April there, you went up for 1 month before you come back down. Yep, so April, a little bit down here, just so. Cool, so yeah, each of these have some seasons also when you're doing it. Give rooms and prepare that it might kind of come down a little bit there. Okay. So that's kind of what happened there. So what's that mean? So that means that when these kind of do well, like fear and greed, when we are extreme fear, more than so it depends on how much extreme fear has happened. So if it is less than 20, which I think it's around 20 something now. If less than 20, you add a little bit more. You know, give some powder to less than 15, you will add a little bit more, and less than 10, and then you will add a little bit more as well. Okay. So that's kind of what happened then.
Raven, I was going to ask with like using that 30% to start buying a little bit. Am I going to give equal weight to some of the ETFs and the individual stocks? Like so, for instance,
You can,
with
yes, you can, or you can do based on how confidence depends on how confidence you feel about that stock. If you watch one of the video, we actually recommend you to go on Twitter to subscribe for all of these stock that you just talk about. So let's say you like Cradle, you want to turn on the notification, follow the guys who type Cradle into the search button. Anyone who talk about Cradle, you click on it and then you favorite them so that you have the notification coming in. It's gonna be quite a lot, but it's fine so that you are up to date with what happened to the stock, so you have more confidence. So it's about confidence to do with a stock. If you the more confidence that you are, usually automatically you're gonna buy more and you can hold longer as well because you know kind of what happened. Yeah. You just
okay,
have to do your research, subscribe to 5 stocks. Don't really need to get so much that you really like the 5 to 10 stocks, that you really, really like. Some big guys are following them. And a lot of the latest news that happened to that stock, you kind of follow a little bit. And remember, we buy now, we don't sell anymore. We only sell an extreme greed. Okay. So that's just the tricky part. Yeah, you sell an extreme greed later on. But if you decide to sell too soon, you need to make sure you sell at a profit because buying stocks you can always sell at the profit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless things really get really bad, you look at some news that just happened, like Twitter just happened, some really bad news, and then you can try to also get out at the profits as well. Okay,
Okay.
but we normally don't do that. We normally just buy extreme fear and sell an extreme greed, just like that. You can see money double very beautifully like that.
Yeah, I'm happy to hold it, even if it's red for a long time, and I know it will come back eventually. With the ETFs, is there? I know we've mentioned VUAG, and I think you've mentioned QQQ. Are there any others that you would recommend?
Yes, on the video that I sent you, I also do a two orders as well. The first one is VUAG. What is
Yeah.
another one for technology that I did? Let me
Is it QQQM? Is that correct? Is that the right? Is it QQ? Yeah, triple QM, I think.
it's a very different name. Let me
Could be wrong about that.
what's the oh, I go to orders.
I'll watch it again anyway, but
Yep. So it's I think it's around, let's see. So we got SPYL, these are all SMP. These are the same. Where's one? QQQ. Do.
and the iShare kind of like iShares Japan, they're quite cheap, aren't they? They're
Yeah,
quite
exactly. iShare is really good. I like the iShare. I like the Vanguard if they have it. If you're able to buy it, yeah, those are quite nice as well.
okay. Brilliant.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
very
and book again. During Extreme Fears, if it comes out properly, so we can actually do things in the proper way.
Okay.
But yeah, and state height, being disciplined is really important. I know sometimes you can get a bit desperate, but I want to end by saying trading and investing is a transferring of the patient to the impatient. Warren Buffett hasn't been buying anything last year, just a little bit. So he actually thinks that our market is going to come down even lower potentially compared to last year. But let's see, okay? Let's see. But we don't have to be so oracle. We don't have to be so powerful to aim the bottom like that. But if you
okay.
really the most money that anyone is going to be making in their entire lifetime, generation wealth, is when market crash down 15% from all-time high. That's where the real wealth is going to be made. Right now we are crashing around 7%, 5%. That's okay. That's okay. Let me see how much we crash. Um Before there's a pullback. Now we are around, let's see, from what, 7 to 6, 3. So let's say it's 4. 4 divided by 70. So around 5, 6% there. This is okay. Historically, it's like that. And it will pull back a little bit before it comes down even nicer as well. Yeah, but I would say end of 18th of March, end of March. That's kind of, add a little bit there. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go start putting some of these orders on, and then yeah, I'll just sit tight.
Also,
And
you can take a screenshot and send it to me, and we can see if there's any situation. All right.
thank you very much, Raven.
Yo, have a
Thanks a lot,
very,
man.
very
Take
let me
care.
know. Speak to you soon.
Will do. I'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah,